All right, it's that time of month again where we check in with the Toronto condo market at large, break it down between Toronto wide, downtown, Midtown, North York, everything else in between. Take a look at the average sold prices, how much are condos selling for as of the most recent data we have, and also go through some of the transactions, see what's selling, what's not. Of course, at the end of the day, you guys already know I'm going to talk about a lot. So it's been a very interesting market, especially for condos from November 2024. So let's not hesitate to start. First and foremost, at the time of recording of this video, there was a total of 1,153 condo sales across the entire city of Toronto. The average sold price for all condos between 1 to 3 bedrooms, lofts, and condo apartments, parking, no parking, really the average headline figure came in at $717,000. Now, this is according to my own research. When the TREB numbers come out, it might be a bit different, but I literally went through every single 1,153 transactions. And as we approach the end of the year, this is a point that can apply to market-wide with having to do with freehold and semi-detached and townhomes, but obviously with regards to condos, November 2024, and with regards to conditions on the ground, is actually performing better, I would probably have to say, than November 2023, or on par, but in my observation, slightly better. But of course, market conditions are cooling down from October 2024, which October 2024 was a October surprise. The amount of absorption was higher than I assumed, sales was higher than I assumed, and prices on this average level are also slightly down from October as well. But all things considered, and within context of a general down buyer's market, November was a little bit better than I would have suspected in August and September. But now let's break down the areas a little bit more thoroughly. And of course, let's start with downtown Toronto. Downtown Toronto saw a total number of 335 sales, two of which was due to yours truly. And amidst these 335 sales, we had an average sold price, once again across all bedroom numbers, of $710,000. Now, I'm really noticing demand in downtown kind of pick up, both on the rental side of things, but with having to do with this video, which is purchase and sale, on the purchase and sale side of things as well. Out of 8 condo buyers reaching out to me right now, 5 to 6 of them are looking in downtown. Now, of course, that is a reflection of my business and my content, but that's just simply what I'm seeing on the ground. On the selling side though, good units that are priced well are still selling pretty decently. Some are selling less than even 10 days. Some are even taking less than 10 days to sell. These are units that are really good and priced aggressively or priced somewhat strongly. Units that are overpriced or units that are maybe really good but not on the newer side, they are still staying on market a while. And showings are actually up. I have this current listing in downtown. It's an older 2-bedroom, fantastic building, fantastic layout, beautiful unit. And so far, to my understanding, we've received more showings than any other iteration of that listing. And finally, an offer on that listing, but we could just not come to terms on a price. So a lot of that is happening as well. Really top shelf quality units that are on the larger side, 2 bedrooms up and maybe 800, 900 square feet and higher. Right now, they are receiving action, but there's just that delta, that gap that people are not able to cross in downtown. And let's of course take a look at what has been selling in downtown, more generally speaking. All right, so we have all the downtown sales in front of us right now. So let's go through them, see what has sold, what has not. As we see in November 2024, the lowest price point sales, as always, are in the 300s actually. You know, studios in like 323 Richmond, 73 Richmond. Not only are these, you know, older buildings that are maybe very well located but higher maintenance, but they're also studio. And oftentimes a lot of these happen to be converted as well, you know, especially as is the case with 1 King Street, which for instance had this unit sell, unit 2402, sold for $355,000. And if you're not aware of 1 King Street, it is a converted building. A lot of the units in this building used to be hotel rooms, and it still has that hotel portion. But as a result, a lot of units in this building have like hotel room layouts, and the maintenances are quite high. That's why this building is really cheap. And let's go around the $600,000 price point, because I just covered units that sold for $600K or less in my most recent video. So some of this might be repeat information. But for example, something that catches my attention is this sale in 25 Lower Simcoe, unit 820. This is actually a unit me and my clients placed an offer on when we purchased another unit successfully in lower Simcoe. I would probably have to say a better unit for our purposes because it had parking. This doesn't have parking. It ended up going for $620,000. Kind of tell you, about the market. Our offer, we were able to go up to $625, and we did go up to $625. They turned down our $625 offer, if memory serves me correct. And they pretty much told us we can have it at $630, but I told my clients, listen, we went to $625. They're saying we can have it to $630. Let's go to the other unit that has parking and try to get it for $615. And that's what happened. We purchased that other unit for $615,000. And it's good to see this finally ended up selling. Good for the seller, but it sold for less than our second best offer. We weren't willing to go to $630 and ended up selling for $620. 25 and 51 Lower Simcoe are really underrated buildings. Really, there's some complications with them. I'll discuss those in future videos. All in all, pretty great. And as you guys can see, most of these sales, right, we have the price, the sold price column and the list price column. Most of them have gone below asking, which is a question I got today from a buyer who wants to start to work with me, a first-time home buyer. And they asked quite innocently, is there room to negotiate? And undoubtedly, in any given market, there's always room to negotiate. Clearly, as we see here, from most of these sales, they've been going below asking. That still doesn't even mean that it's a good price, right? Because below asking still can mean it's overpriced. But the point here is that if in a moderate and hot market, there's room to negotiate, obviously less so in a hot market, but in moderate market, definitely in today's buyer's market, there's room to negotiate as well, as evidenced by this list of sales. And at the time of recording of this video, the highest sales was a unit in 480 front, which was on market since the summer, ended up actually selling. A 2-bedroom, 3-washroom, 1,400 square feet, obviously brand new, ended up selling for $2,085,000. And then this unit in 311 Bay Street, unit 5403, sold for $2.7 million. Obviously, at the time of recording of video, at the time of recording of this video, these are the highest sold priced units in November in downtown. Let's go back to the numbers, shall we? North York. How has North York been performing? Now, North York, of course, kind of a vague definition, but really I'm considering North York, Yonge Sheppard, Yonge Finch, Bathurst Sheppard, Bathurst Finch, Bayview Sheppard, Bayview Finch, and up to Leslie. Really up to Leslie. But that's my own idiosyncratic definition of North York. Others may disagree. But for my definition of North York, in November, there was a total of 174 sales with an average sold price of $679,000. And this is where I'm kind of seeing more of the 2-bedroom demand shift. The larger units are performing a bit better in North York, I would have to say. Once again, that's a general statement, right? On the ground, what I'm seeing is that the junior 1-beds or maybe medium-sized 1-beds, they're on average, once again, having a bit of a harder time selling in North York relative to downtown. But on the larger, more functional units in North York, 2-bedrooms plus, they're kind of having an easier time going. But let's take a look at what has specifically sold in North York in November of 2024. By the way, let me take a quick break to tell you can get in touch with me. My link is in the bio. My contact information is in the bio. It's easier than ever to use that link to book a call with me for any buying, selling, and leasing inquiries. As you guys can see, condos are my bread and butter across the city, across the GTA, and I don't think there is anyone who knows the condo market as well as I do. So don't hesitate to get in touch. I'll be happy to help. All right, so now we have all 174 sales for North York. Let's take a look. And then the lower price points, you're always going to find these Antipus and these tan green building sales in North York because these are really old buildings that look like rental apartments, but you're going to find really good price per square foot in these buildings if you can stomach the high maintenance and lower resale value. In some cases, no resale value. Here, for instance, this unit in tan green, however you want to say it, was a 3-bedroom that sold for $488,000. It was 1,000 plus square feet in size. And you have the usual suspects here, right? Like 60 Bing, 55 Anne O'Reilly, or 50 Anne O'Reilly, 20 Olive. The Forest Manor buildings finally saw a lot of absorption, like these 1+1s in 38 and 52 Forest Manor, selling for $510,000 and $512,000 respectively. And then you have this unit in 9 Boger, unit 2304, which sold for $550,000. The reason I bring your attention to this unit is because I actually sold an exact replica of this unit. Maybe not exact replica, but very comparable, like very comparable. So I sold that very comparable unit in 2022, literally at the pinnacle of the market for $730,000. I would love to take credit for that. And I did do my job. and get maximum price for my client at that time. But a lot of it was luck in terms of market timing. A unit that I sold for $730 now is going for $550, and I feel bad for the buyer of the unit we sold, but in that case I was representing the seller, right? When I represent the seller, I have the seller's best interest in mind, and at that time everything was getting appraised. Appraisal issue was not even a concern. And let's finish the video by looking at Midtown Toronto. We'll leave Toronto East and Toronto West for a different video. When it comes to Midtown Toronto, based on 120 sales, we saw an average sold price of $955,000. Now, hold up. That might seem alarming to you. How you might be like, Sam, how are we looking at citywide $717,000, downtown $710,000, North York, which is your favorite, Sam, as always you say, which it is, $679,000 or so, and Midtown has $920,000 and as an average sold price for all condos? Well, that's just it, because Midtown here technically accounts for Yorkville. Yorkville is north side of Bloor, becomes technically Midtown. And so here, median is a much better indicator, and the median is around $720,000. I would venture to say if we eliminate some of the Yorkville sales, $3 million plus, the average would be something around, I would probably have to say, downtown, if not slightly less than downtown. But why should we guess? Let's take a look at specific transactions in Midtown Toronto. And then we have obviously the Midtown list. Now, obviously, as you guys can see, this is what I was referring to towards the end of the list. You have all these sales above $3 million, right? 200 Cumberland, around 3.6, 1 Bedford, you have higher than, obviously, and you have some sales higher than 4 million. And when people think Midtown, they think of Yonge and Eglinton, Yonge St. Clair, Yonge Lawrence. They don't really think of, Yorkville, but Yorkville has this impact of all these $2+ million sales even carrying up the averages. That's why the median we discussed was a bit better. And you still have certain circumstances as we go through the list a little bit more thoroughly, of like, for instance, this example, 195 Redpath, right? This unit that was listed for $589 ended up selling for $666,000. And you might ask yourself, well, if it's a down market, why is this happening? Well, the fact of the matter is, when I said most properties are selling below asking, most are. But you do have these rare circumstances where properties such as this one are doing offer nights and successfully selling, but it's rare, like it's truly rare. Most listings, condo listings attempting offer nights, whether it's in downtown, Midtown, North York, Toronto East, Toronto West, Richmond Hill, Vaughan, most of them are not successfully selling on offer night. Now, interesting point, GTA in Richmond Hill and Vaughan, it seems as if that strategy, although still not the best strategy, is resulting in more successful sales than Toronto. But even then, it's nothing to get excited about if you're a seller. As always, I strive to bring you the facts and, as always, clarify what's my opinion, give you the honest opinions on different buildings, different areas, and market wide. So definitely subscribe, comment, like this video, ask your questions in the comments if you have any further questions. And for buying, selling, leasing inquiries, you already know what to do. Contact information in the description box. Book a call with me. It's easier than ever to do so. Thank you very much for watching. Stay safe and stay tuned. Thank you.